project open mic. Let's get the show off right.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with me, cause
it's project open mic. Let's have a good show tonight.
Let's get the topic straight. Let's get things good. Let's do everything that we should.
It's project open mic. Let's get the show off right.
Let's open our minds and take out our style. Let's see what's going on in the world tonight.
It's project open mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's project open mic. Let's get the show off right. It's project open mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's project open mic. Let's get the show off right. It's project open mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's project open mic.
Hi, everybody. What's going on? This is your boy, Take on Project Over Mike. Hope y'all are doing well. Welcome back to another episode of Project Over Mike. Put my lovely mug on the screen. Yes, I know. But I hope y'all are doing well. Hope everything is good in whatever world you are. I hope that you have a blessed day. And if you had a bad day, I hope that everything goes good for you. I'll make sure I have everybody on here. All right, so I want to again give a shout out to everybody, and like I said, I hope you had a blessed day. I hope everything's going well with you, and if things are not going well with you, I hope that you can do stuff that can, take a break, read the Bible, relax, and chill your mind, because then the stress happens in the part of life. We know that. So again, welcome to another episode of Project Open Mic, where we're going to be talking about tonight's topic is basically do Americans know the First Amendment? And we'll get down to the nitty-gritty of that. But I want to shout out to all the people who watched the show later on, because at the time we just had we had just had 1,700 people watched it last week and watched it live last week worldwide. And again, I'll take what I take. I did took, for those who catching on, we did took a break. I did took a break over the weekend, over the summer. Had to have issues with help my mom and do other stuff, and just wanted to take a break, get the brain back working, get everything back working, come back at it again. For those who missed it out last time, like I said, for the last time, I want to let y'all know, like I said, I am not I'm not sugarcoating stuff no more. I understand my show is played all over the world, and I get shout outs for everybody who tunes in from YouTube. If you want to catch it on YouTube, you catch it on YouTube live. Put your comments in there. It's live on Facebook right now. It's live on Nico, which is in Japan markets. Nico. It's on YouLive Now, which is on Eastern Europe. Tempo FM on the Western Europe side, and again, Rumble, Locals. If you're watching this stream and you have a description box, there should be links to our description box down Amazon Podcast, all that. We're there. As I always said, if you ever see this microphone here, you know you're in the right spot. Okay, that's how I do it. So I want to thank y'all for giving me your time, your ears, and your mind, as we're going to talk about tonight. So a continuation of last week. And like I said before, I want to put this out front for anybody. I'm speaking the truth, not his truth, her truth, my truth, this truth. I'm not doing that. And again, for people to understand it, I I will always hope the best for people, but I also know how human nature is, and I will always stand with good people. Good people who want to do good things. If it's Democrat that are good, Republicans that are good, Libertarian that are good, a black person that's good, or Asian man that's good, whatever, is good. I stand for good, but I do not stand for evil. And evil goes on both sides, on all those things I just said too. The evil Republicans, the evil Democrats, the evil black people, the evil white people, the evil Asian people, the evil trans, the evil. I don't stand for that. So we can live our life good and have a conversation. That's what this show is about. But just letting you know how we're gonna do this. And for those who've been watching the show over the last couple of years, yes, it's gonna change a little bit. So you're gonna see a change in the show, but I'm not gonna try to do the long shows that I normally do. So we're gonna do a nice compact show and get into topics and do stuff. But I'm just doing this because this is the second show I'm doing since I'm back. I want to thank everybody out there for joining in. We're at 6,856 people listening worldwide. Thank you all for your time for that. So, again, last week we had the assassination of Charlie Kirk and also the unfortunate killing of the Ukrainian woman who got killed by a person. A very, the lady said again.
You piece of loser.
Loser. I don't care what color you is. People always say about, oh, you should stand with your people. My people is good people. That's why I put that phrase up. I don't stand for for evil people. I don't care if you're black. Ooh, whoopee. You want a cookie? I don't care. Be a good black person. Don't be a dip crap. Don't be an a-hole. Help your people. Hell. Stop being jabronis. But as I said, that was some craziness last week, and we are still reaching out the fallout this week. Now, I want to give a shout out to, and hopefully, and I do mean this, hopefully that wakes them up. I hope that wakes them up. I really do. I'm not gonna play the audio on this, not because mainstream media I do not like. I'll watch to get whatever, but I figure out their biases quickly and figure out, well, we already know how that crazy lives, so we go from that. But I do want to shout out, like I said, let me see if we're gonna pick one here.
Tonight, more than
I don't want, like I said, not playing that. Let me see here. We go. There we go. Bring that on the screen. And again, if your video screen, you can go check out stuff also on. You go on Rumble, you check out past stuff, which Rumble does that. But if you do see videos, if you want audio, you could go, of course, to Spotify and check out Project Over Mike on Spotify. All right. Like I said, shout outs to this right here, to London, as they have literally stand up and do stuff. Hopefully you guys will wake up. Unite the King. I'm not letting no audio play for that stuff because I know one thing, but yes, because they always few knuckleheads. They always start problems. And of course there was some people who were, I'll say, not a part of whatever. So respect. I give respect to Tommy Robinson. Some people say he's this, that. I'm sorry, and it's happening in France right now too. How crazy the world has gone. You should take care of the nation. Some of the laws that you guys was doing that the prime minister in London was like obfuscating. You can't crack a joke. You go to jail for cracking a joke. That's crazy. And that's why America should be happy that we have the First Amendment. Well, we have the Constitution. Thank you. We have the Constitution. Because that really, really cements how we can have, how that's lit. The Constitution is one of the major reasons why the Empire of America has lasted this long. Because it has been dominant, to be honest, to be real true. Because totalitarian might from China and Russia has not yielded what it is. They have the money, they are superpowers, but living there is not as good as it is. Because I remember it was a couple months ago, before I finished my sabbatical. Literally, or people say, "Oh man, it's great to live in China. You can live in China, making this much money, whatever." They didn't even know the exchange rate to understand that was not working. And also, half of those people that people was talking about in China, they were CCP, like people who were making false, because that's not how the average people was. You see, this is why I said I don't like. This is why I don't like the you call it. It's thousands of people in the far right protests rally in London. Okay, people who just want to live their normal lives and not go to jail for just cracking a joke on the internet. Stand up for racism. Women against the fear. Reject racist lies. Refugees are not to blame. Until you get great, then you're gonna be like, oh wow, yeah, they are to blame. See, again. I'll say this. Like I said, I'm not sugarcoating nothing, and I've said it before. I say it. The most, you have to be careful, because the most racist, the most evilest people I've seen from being on this planet Honor is leftist white ladies. Don't know. Them are the craziest people I've ever met. Unhinged, unthoughtful, unintelligent, ruled by emotions, just crazy. And then right behind that would be leftist white men, who are just the weakest people I've ever seen. Can they kill you? Yes, as we saw that somebody with Charlie Kirk, how that worked, that he get shot. But could his argument stand up to what Charlie Kirk's argument could have been? No. He basically proved, the thing about it is, y'all made him a martyr, one, and two, you prove him right. Prove him wrong by debating him, by doing that. All they did was talk. People was like, oh, he's a racist person who believes this and this. And I'll stay with this. I've not listened to, I don't agree with everything that Charlie Kirk says, one. And two, I did not listen to everything Charlie Kirk says. That's an impossibility as well. But most of the stuff that I've heard, I agree about 80% of the time with him. People say, oh, he said racist thing about black people. Okay, let me black women. I said, let me look into this. Mm-hmm. Okay, what he said about black women? Oh, 70% of children without don't have their fathers. That's a fact. The ghettos are basically people who let the government take over and put your fathers out. That's correct. The most violent people, about 3% of the population of black males do 50% of the crime. They must say 13, but 3% of and maybe 1% of women who do most of the crimes in America. Yeah, and what? Don't do crimes. It's not that hard. Being evil is easy. Being good is hard. Why don't y'all just be? I mean, that's what it is. So that's why I say I'm not playing MSNBC crap, because they're gonna say all the stuff as you can see there. Stand for your country. So London, I don't know. I hope y'all England. I hope y'all wake up and put the crap out of the way. That's all I could tell you. That's all I could see. So in that regard, let's go into I want to just recap of last week. Then we're gonna go into the First Amendment what I was talking about, and I also talk about because Jimmy Kimmel lost his job, and people's like, oh, look at it all. Y'all always talk about the cancellations, and look what the right is canceling people. Apparently not, but okay. You know me, I always bring my receipts. So let's see how that works.
Assassin has been caught. A shocking new poll shows Democrats prefer socialism to capitalism.
Surprising.
And the media has a racial double standard, which is surprising. If they have any standards. Then more on this week's America Uncovered.
You're correct
headlines.
about that.
Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. And I just want to say thank you all for leaving an American flag emoji in the comments. It's been a huge help with engagement and YouTube's algorithm. And I have to be extra nice to the algorithm because, oh boy, it does not like what I've been covering this week. Also, great job blurring everyone's face, but the victim never changed me.
That's the part, that's what I'm saying. Media. Oh, we blurred out, we blurred all the black people's faces, but a woman who got killed, now we're gonna leave her out. Good job, media. Good job. That's why y'all views is down in the tanker. And anybody who watches that and take it at matter of fact, I think you're unintelligible. Again, I'm not sugarcoating this stuff no more. Don't want to watch my show? Don't watch my show. You have the freedom to turn it off. Please turn it off. But I have no problem speaking the truth because that's what it is. This piece, that person in the back, he gets away with what we're going to cover his face. Even though people say, oh, he was mentally messed up. Okay, I'll say this again. 7, he has been arrested 14 times and done some bad crimes already. You're arrested, you did nonviolent crime and you're mentally ill or you're a drug addict, okay. But when you start doing grand larceny, I'll give it because you can't go in people's houses and rob people and stuff like that, and you've done assault, no, take their butts to jail. That's it. Oh, that's wrong. That's not wrong. Because again, if that happened to your family, your people, you're quick to lock them up. Again, remember, a lot of these rich people always talk about, oh, no, people don't need guns, but you have guards with guns. But I should not carry a gun with my Second Amendment right. You do what you do. As I said before, I am a card carrying Second Amendment person. So sorry, I ain't playing that. My wife is one and I'm one, because I ain't playing that with nobody. Nobody's life is worth the people say, oh, no one's worth dying for, even though y'all shot a man just because you didn't like what he said. But okay, well, that's when we get into the First Amendment stuff. But let's continue.
Mainstream media, or change immediately.
Exactly.
Speaking of, a quick update on the assassination of Charlie Kirk. May he rest in peace.
Yes.
The Wall Street Journal reports that ammunition used by the shooter was engraved with pro-transgender, anti-fascist messages. Because nothing says I hate fascism more than murdering someone you disagree with.
Exactly.
It also had the button combination to summon a bomb in the game Helldivers 2, as well as, if you read this, you're gay, LMAO. Damn it. On Thursday, the FBI released images of a person of interest in the shooting, followed later by some video of said person of interest running across the roof of the building he allegedly shot from, and even more images. They even offered a $100,000 reward for any information leading to his identification and arrest. And then Trump announced on Fox and Friends that the shooter was in custody.
We have got to the point where literally...
Well, do you know that?
With a high degree of certainty, we have him.
It is interesting that President Trump himself is the one announcing this, and also that it's happening on a talk show. Take Trump.
Yep, that is
The
true.
alleged killer is Tyler Robinson, and he was turned in by his own father, a 27-year veteran of the local sheriff department. Wow, that's going to make for the most awkward Thanksgiving ever.
Yep.
Of course, it's not just an issue of who the killer is, but the ideology that radicalized him, peddled through the internet and American universities, that produces things like this.
Wow. Y'all people are nasty.
Where is the version of Charlie Kirk for the left? The guy who goes to university campuses and debates anyone.
Thank you. Thank you. They don't debate. They got a lot of people who just go there and just talk and they talk nonsense, but they don't debate. That's the problem.
I'm actually asking. I would love to watch that.
Me too.
But it seems that American students have more to worry about than just radical leftist ideology. We all know that American students fell way behind during the pandemic.
Oh boy.
Actually, given the state of the American education system, I shouldn't assume anyone knows anything. But thankfully, after years of schools being reopened and diligent efforts from politicians and educators, we can now proudly say U.S. high school students have fallen even further behind in math and reading. Wow, who could have guessed that closing schools and playing a forever game of catch-up would have negative consequences?
Exactly. Exactly. Who would have saw that? Who would have thought that would happen? I don't know.
Question is hard to answer since you can barely hear it over the people who warned about this exact scenario screaming, "I told you so."
One of them being me that said, this is not a good idea. This is a stupid idea. And again, I blame Trump in this as well too, because he shut it down in the early when he should never shut it down for either. So hey, he recognized that it was after a couple months. He was like, yeah, this is a dumb idea. And Fauci should be in jail for what he did because he was part of the problem. But again, so crazy.
The National Assessment of Education Progress conducted its first review since the pandemic, and 12th graders' scores were the lowest in 20 years. On the bright side, Americans continuing a steady decline of not being able to do math might explain why a recent revision shows that 911,000 fewer jobs were created between April 2024 and March 2025 than initially reported. At first, I thought this was because the numbers were a lie to try and make the labor force look better than it was for political purposes. But now I'm starting to think they may have just been bad at math.
Wow, what a waste. The poor children.
Basically.
You know, I'd hate to take jobs away from Americans, but if we want a more accurate counter, we may have to import one. A skilled
That's sad.
from
That's
Pennsylvania.
sad. The
The
count.
pandemic isn't the only reason U.S.
Exactly.
students are losing ground, as test scores were falling years before the pandemic. At this point, it feels like it'd take a miracle to turn things around. Maybe that's why President Trump says the Department of Education will issue guidance about prayer in public schools.
The Department of Education will soon issue new guidance protecting the right to prayer in our public schools. For most of our country's history, the Bible was found in every classroom in the nation. Yet in many schools today, students are instead indoctrinated with anti-religious propaganda.
And what Bible would be better to bring back to U.S. schools
Then
than the God Bless the USA Bible,
yeah.
the only Bible endorsed by 45th and 47th
47th.
President Donald Trump, and the only Bible with an apparel section on its website. Because how will anyone know you're a God-fearing American without an alligator Alcatraz
Alcatraz
t-shirt
t-shirt.
that I sincerely hope wasn't made in China? And if you're
I know
wondering,
it, right?
hey, wait a minute, handsome news anchor. How is the Department of Education going to give guidance on anything? Wasn't it dismantled? First of all,
No.
not so bad looking yourself. But while Trump did order the Department of Education to be shut down in an
That's
attempt to,
Congress.
as he called it, improve education outcomes and empower parents, this was blocked by a federal judge. So instead, the DOE
only Congress
has
could
just
do
been
it.
slimmed down. Trump feels the department established in 1979 by President Jimmy Carter isn't improving education and that responsibility for schools should go back to the states.
And I agree with that because I can tell you right now, they're literally making kids dumber and dumber and dumber.
Others feel dismantling the DOE is too rash of a decision.
Not really.
In either case, something clearly needs to change, because assuming that if we keep doing what we've been doing for the past 20 years will somehow magically lead to better results, not even this guy would count on it. Speaking of changes being made to departments, the Department of Defense being changed back to the Department of War. And Democrats were thrilled. After all, they're very supportive of transitioning and identifying with the new name. It also seems they prefer socialism. More on that after the break. Unless we're demonetized again, then you'll just see a brief black screen.
Let's be honest. There are zillions of things
No,
you'd rather do
you're
than
not.
look for.
And you're not. You are not this time.
I hope. A new Gallup poll shows what Americans think about socialism and capitalism. Unsurprisingly, Republicans are heavily in favor of capitalism and not big fans of socialism.
Yeah.
Makes sense. After all, Trump loves capitalism so much, he capitalizes everything.
Everything.
This poll showed that only 42% of Democrats view capitalism favorably, while 66% have a positive view of socialism.
Yeah, they never left the American country. They never gone to countries that have full socialism. And forget what Bernie Sanders says, because we know he's a lying piece of crap as well too. Because he, like I said, when he was correct and he could have stopped Hillary and all this stuff, and the Democrats stabbed him in the back, Bernie didn't care. So that's not surprising to me. But socialist nations don't work. Never have, never did.
This is part of a 15-year trend of Democrats viewing capitalism more negatively while softening up to and even beginning to support socialism, which explains why self-described Democratic socialist Zoran Mamdani won the New York City mayoral Democratic primary over Andrew Cuomo. With New York City being so heavily Democratic, it's quite possible it'll get a socialist mayor and operate as an experiment for how socialism works out for citizens. Spoiler, not so hot historically.
Exactly. That's the whole point. It don't work hot for it. Never worked. But again, only people who think that people who don't put into something should get nothing. I don't get that at all. Sorry. I mean, like I said, Venezuela's learning the hard way, and so other countries are learning the hard way. Yeah, it don't work that way. And for anybody out there, I'm anti-government. I don't care if Trump is in office. I don't even know I voted for him. I'm anti-government. You do stuff for yourself. They should be doing stuff for people. That's what put them in office. But I'd rather you do stuff for yourself. That's just the way I am. Sorry. But I want to switch because again, I want to do it. I'm running a tight show, so I want to switch to something here before I go into this. So Jimmy Kimmel got fired. Or let go. He could be whatever. No, he didn't get fired. He got sorry, he didn't get fired. But his show is on standby indefinitely. He will come back 2 weeks from now when the heat's down and whatever. But ABC let him go. But people were talking about, it's not First Amendment. And then also there was a lot of people who lost their jobs because people was like, Charlie Kirk should have died and blah, 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 and all this crazy stuff. And y'all are nuts. Look, I don't like Nancy Pelosi, but when she inevitably kicked the bucket, I'm not going to be here on this channel saying, yeah, on my Facebook saying, yeah, Nancy Pelosi. No, that's disgusting. She's a horrible human being, but she don't even, my thing is, if I don't like the person, I'm not even going to acknowledge that they're gone. That's the whole point. I won't give them the power to say that they earned my ire. So is Chuck, and so is all of them, those other pieces of crap who did other people wrong. But again, see how things work out. So let's go with the First Amendment. Well, a lot of people lost their job, and a lot of people say. So I'll state this up front before going into reading this. The people who lost their jobs through who are military and stuff like that. Again, unless you sign a clause that says don't do this, but if you did lost your job and you didn't sign a clause, yeah. That's your First Amendment right. You should speak it. You should not get fired for that because you are a military part of the government. Just saying that part. Everybody else, no. No, your First Amendment rights did not get trampled. Jimmy Kimmel's First Amendment rights didn't get trampled either. As the First Amendment is stated, so as I have on the screen, so we go to the First Amendment is the Constitution, first and foremost poignant article of the Bill of Rights ratified in 1791. Prevents the government from passing laws to restrict freedoms of religion, speech, press, assembly, and petition. Here's the problem. We have already done breaking most of this stuff, and most of the people who've broken most of this stuff are on a certain side. But I digress to say which side it's from, because if you ain't smart enough to see what's going on, and because again, it don't make sense, some of that stuff. They want to shut down religion, all that stuff like that. But but leftism and atheism is also a religion. Because boy, that cultish vibe is crazy for people that I've seen. Okay, Congress should not pass no law respecting and establishing of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, abridging the freedom of speech or the freedom of press or the right to the people peacefully assemble and the petition of the government for readiness and grievances. So I'll state this like I said last week. For the kids in the back who are stupid. When you're on, if you're on a platform and you saying stuff, horrible stuff, and I'm not gonna repeat none of the horrible stuff you said, right? And your boss maybe disagree with what you have, they have the right to fire you. Because if okay, for me, I'm the CEO of my company, but again, if I'm on YouTube and on Facebook and all the other stuff saying blah blah death, blah blah that, blah blah this, whatever, or say, hey, call my boss blah 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 blah. My boss, and he sees it, he has the right to fire me. He's not a government, he's a private citizen, he can fire me. Government, again, Congress shall make no laws. Congress, government should not do this. Okay? That's what it is. That's what the First Amendment is. So all you morons who are saying, oh, you lost my job, hey, freedom of speech. No. Freedom of, you got freedom of speech. You spoke what you said. But you don't have freedom from consequences, you morons. That's the problem. That's what you should not be doing. All right? You can't be saying horrible stuff and think that you won't get in that. Charlie Kirk was saying stuff. He has consequences. People could have canceled stuff. People could not watch what he's doing, whatever. He was going around debating people, but he had freedom of speech. But you won't, now the consequences was somebody was basically a wackadoo and
You piece of loser.
Who thought that because he's against trans, that dude was crazy, and that's what it is. My thing is, and this is why I can't be in the left too much, because none of the stuff make logical sense, bruh. If you want to be a gay guy, just be a gay guy. I should say homosexual. I should say. Yeah. If you wanted to be a homosexual, be a homosexual. Why you want to be with a guy who tries to pretend to be a woman? I don't get that. Just be a homosexual. Because here's the funny part. Until that dude changes his parts to a female, other than you can't have a baby or have, menstrual cycles, that guy would have never, is not going to ever be a woman. You're a false woman. That's why the word trans is there. Because you are a transformer. You are a fake person. That's all it is. If I'd rather you be gay than to try to live a more weird out fantasy. At least you're true to yourself. Hey, I like dudes. Okay. hey, my dude, I like you, you like me, we all together, do our thing. And I'm not against, again, I'm not against trans people. If you want to live your life, again, I always said this, leave the kids alone. Don't lie to nobody to get intimate with anybody, because again, that I think is despicable. That's why a lot of them get hurt, because they try to trick guys. Don't do that. And do the operations on your own money. Other than those three things, live the trans life you want to be. I don't care. Live your life. That's your life. That's what you're choosing. That's the one where I say don't lie to people. I'm saying that mostly so you don't get hurt. I'm trying to be nice to y'all. Don't trick other people. That's a lie. You lying to people. Some of y'all get this weird kink to say, oh, even though I'm a dude and I'm pretending I could be a woman, I'm gonna get this macho dude to do that. A lot of times y'all get hurt, or basically, your life get ended. And I don't want your life to end that way. You do what you want to do after the fact. But that guy was just looking for clout, and now he's gonna go to jail for life because you murdered a person first degree. That was first degree. There wasn't no passion or nothing. That was first degree murder at the highest, your assassination. So you're gonna go to jail. I don't know if you're gonna get the death penalty or nothing like that, but at least you'll be in jail for life. And you did that. Like, it's like another person I know in the family of my circle of life, 20 years old kid went and shot at the cops.
No, son of a bitch!
You shot at the cops without no warning. Now, you're still alive, but your life is over. You're 20-something years old. You're going to jail for a very, very long time. Why would you do something that stupid? What demon got into you to make you thought that was a smart idea? That's the part that's just unnerving and just messed up. So when people talk about, oh, Jimmy Kimmel was his freedom of speech, you could say it up. I have no problem with Jimmy. As much as people don't like Trump and all stuff, Trump did not went and cancel ABC. ABC canceled, and it's not. They didn't cancel because what he said. Let's be honest, and I'm gonna tell you right now, they canceled him. They stopped him because his ratings was garbage. Nobody watches the Tonight shows. The Tonight shows are not as funny as they were back in the day with Jay Leno and Conan and David Letterman and all those guys. Those were, I could watch those and say, okay, they're funny. The stuff I see now is nothing. And it's not me, it's everybody. Those are the numbers down there.
Jimmy Kimmel, alongside all the left-wing late-night hosts, have been completely slipping out of relevance. And just like any workplace that has an employee that's slowly declined over time, it's hard to terminate their contract over mediocrity. But given the opportunity, like public backlash over brazenly false information regarding a national tragedy, the bosses will jump on firing you while they can still pass off the blame on everybody else. But leave it to the corporate media to make this business decision about their Trump derangement syndrome.
Yep.
With MSNBC coming out in full force.
Of
Donald
course.
Trump's ongoing campaign to crack down on free speech, dominate the media, and essentially render the First Amendment meaningless.
That's why I showed you the First Amendment, because check this BS next. Donald Trump, First Amendment speech. Okay.
We are quickly becoming a censorship state.
No, we ain't.
A kind of deployment of law enforcement, of the state apparatus.
Congressman on CNN.
Wait, did police went to Los Angeles and told Jimmy Kimmel not to speak? I don't think so.
And echoing the same nonsense.
Jimmy Kimmel is a late night host. He's a comedian. We have the
comedian, but whatever.
First Amendment in this country.
Yes, he does, but government didn't shut him down. It was ABC, a private-owned company. They could do that.
And it's pretty clear that this is a direct attack on free speech.
No, it ain't.
America is a less free place if late-night comedians cannot do and say what they want.
Really, Brian? Mr. Irrelevant? Really, Brian? Okay.
They're literally trying to say we're less free if private companies aren't forced to promote their propaganda at a financial loss.
Exactly.
Let's be clear. Kimmel's recent comments are mild compared to the deranged things he said before.
Yes.
The corporations didn't suddenly grow a spine. It's just that Kimmel isn't entertaining anymore. As
No.
I guarantee, if he was putting out Gutfeld numbers, they'd let him get away with anything because nobody fires an earner. And all these media tears.
And that's the fact. Because they're making that. And also, Jimmy making $16 million a year. Okay. Boo-hoo, top crime, tail, crime, river, or whatever. I don't care. You have enough money. Live your life, Jimmy. Because, again, some of the stuff you said, that was crazy. Again, he was always like, oh, we need to get rid of guns and all this stuff. Oh, we need to get guns. Again, you have guards that have guns. But I should get rid of my gun to protect me and my family.
You serious?
I know.
Is just remind us how they simply have zero actual virtues. Where Western lensmen found the perfect example on MSDNC.
Yeah, listen to this crap.
And this is just the latest chapter in Donald Trump's ongoing campaign to crack down on free speech, dominate the media, and essentially render the First Amendment meaningless. Tucker Carlson, just fired from his third network, he believed he could say anything, no matter how vile, no matter how disgusting, no matter how offensive, no matter how dehumanizing or belittling. And if you act like a sociopath over and over and over and over, you will become unpopular on the national stage. That's just like a basic principle. Over time, probably not going to work out well for you in the long run.
It's almost
Allow yourself to slowly get. You're freaking crazy!
So, Jimmy Kimmel, okay, Tucker Carlson, we should take him off. We should take him off because he's this. Free speech. Both, if we apply free speech, both of them could say what they want to say, and it's up to the news people to take him off. That's all it is.
It's like you could cut the Chiron and stock images off the clips, swap the audios, and he easily could be talking about Kimmel, where these left-wing news personalities have become the equivalency of ESPN's Stephen A. Smith. As he's not paid to be objective about sports reporting, he's paid because if you told him to fill 20 minutes of TV time about why Tom Brady is overrated, he could easily follow it up with 20 minutes of TV time of why Tom Brady is the greatest. That's fine with sports gossip, but just proves that left-leaning media doesn't care about the truth or values, just whatever narrative they're currently force-feeding their audience.
Exactly.
So of course CNN goes back to fear-mongering.
It is outrageous. It's a page right out of Xi's playbook.
Are her parents brother and sister? Can you please leave now?
It doesn't matter whether you...
Oh, now I get it. She's a moron.
And I say that to him because he knows what he's saying. He's not a moron. He's a calculating snake. Hey, Schumer, how about you go back to baking your, cooking your cheeseburgers, or you're putting cheese on raw burgers before you cook them. Like, again, so not in touch with nothing.
Agree with Kimmel or not, he has the right to free speech.
Yes. So who fired him? ABC fired him, not Donald Trump. He didn't went in there and say, stop this or whatever. So what are you talking about? Is the same thing with Fox News with Tucker Carlson? We just stated. Tucker Carlson got fired from Fox. Biden didn't went in there and say, hey, get rid of Tucker Carlson. No, because that's government. That's free speech. Fox wanted to fire Carlson. That's what they do. They want to fire ABC. They fire ABC. But I love how y'all like to play this stupid game, Chucky boy.
And so it is just outrageous. It is indicative of autocracy.
Oh, stop
and
it.
I am just outraged by it.
No,
Again,
you ain't.
This is what dictators do. This is what Xi would do. This is what Putin would do.
Yeah, they would actually send cops and military people to shut down people like him. That's what Xi would do. That's what Putin would do. That is what Madera would do. I should not say do. They have done this before. That's what they would have done. You think those you think those Venezuelans that talk back against Maduro? Well, how about the person who won the election? Where is that person? Oh, not in Venezuela because he was gonna get killed. Same thing with Putin. Remember the person who looked like he was gonna beat Putin. He's not with us no more. And I don't even know because he made himself dictator for life. So you ain't even part about that. See, that's the truth right there that we're speaking of. But Chuck, stop it. You're lying.
As MSNBC is even worse.
I built a Holocaust museum with survivors. I've also read a whole lot about authoritarian regimes. This is the playbook, folks.
The Democrat governor from Illinois actually just tried to compare the Holocaust to an unfunny comedian getting his show canceled.
And also that same white Fisker, that fat bastard, don't give a damn about any of y'all black asses in Chicago when y'all get slaughtered. Again, Labor Day weekend, 80 people got shot, 6 dead. He don't care. He's basically let the plebeians kill themselves, and we keep on making sure they kill themselves so I can live my nice life up where I'm at.
Not only is this incredibly disrespectful, but just reveals how desperate the Democrats have become, as Jimmy Kimmel is just another one of their guys added to a long list of idiots that lost their left-wing platform.
Kobe, yes, he needed Jimmy Kimmel, Joy Reid, Tom Lemon is a joke. Chris Cuomo, well, you love that a joke.
As that last one has been freaking out over this online.
Jimmy Kimmel? They're trying to cancel Jimmy Kimmel? I'm sure you've heard the news by now.
No, they did not. They didn't try to cancel Jimmy Kimmel. They just see the difference between the right, or let's say center right and center left. Center right, center left, not the whacker Jews. Let's keep those out of there. Let's go center right, center left. Center right. And it's just like me. I have a gaming channel, and I said the same thing in my gaming channel. Here's what I don't do. You don't like me because I'm black? Then you know what? I'm doing? Let me go big screen on this. You don't like me because I'm black? I'm not spending money in your establishment. You don't like me because I'm a Christian? I'm not spending money in your establishment. You don't like me because I'm a man? I'm not spending money in your establishment. That's the difference from the right side. Bud tried to force that down people's face about beer. And what did the right people on the right center and center right did? They said, well, I'm buying a Bud Light beer. Gillette was the whole thing about the best a man ever was, and then and try to make it do a trans thing and said men are we're pigs. Oh, Gillette, we're pigs. All right, then you know what? What have I spent on Gillette? Oh, I have not given Gillette any money since that damn commercial. Do they still make money? Yes, because it's part of Procter & Gamble, but they still make money? Yeah, but I'm not doing that. Tyson Chicken. Oh, we put in we want a lot of illegals to come in and take the jobs, so we fired all the American people who was working in their jobs, and we bring illegals in. So you know what, Tyson? I'll not spend my money on you either. This right here is my freedom of speech to corporations. I don't spend money for people who don't like me for this, and that's mostly what the center right does. Center left, no, they don't care about that. They say that, but they never back up what they're saying. All the stuff they say, oh, we should do this and do this or do that. Okay, if the right did not buy the Bud Light beer, leftists, you should have been right there buying the beer because they do what you want, right? All right, you should be there like, oh man, you support me. I'm gonna give you all the money because you support what I think of. But you don't. You never back up what y'all saying. That's the difference. And just to make sure, I gotta tell you this, like one of my favorite deodorant brand that I use, me and my wife use, is Native. Are they pro for LGBTQ, the alphabet soup, which I don't really, that was it's an oxymoron, I'm telling you. But for like lesbians and all that stuff and gay people, they're for that. But they don't outwardly push it, and they don't outwardly slap it in my face. So I still Give them the money to get the product. You make a good product, and that's what all it is. Just make a product, and and take the politics out the crap. Just hey, be pro for. Like I said, don't force it. If you want to stand for the alphabet soup, stand for it, but don't force it down people's throats. That's when people are like, okay, you don't care about it, so I'll walk away. Some of these companies have gone beyond that because they're like, oh, we don't care about men. We don't care about whatever. Heck, there was I'll bring that story up. There was a woman who wanted, who created a man-free island in Europe. Men, blah blah blah. We don't like men, blah blah. The woman who did that, it was not the problem. But the people who subscribed and went to her and spent $1,000 to go to the island was saying, yeah, we don't need men. We don't need men. But come to find out, you need the men to set up electricity. You need the men to drive the boats. You need the men to fix anything that have problems. You need the men to do a lot of stuff, ladies. And right now, that resort is gone. Because there weren't enough women to support it. Nani? See, so what do you expect? So that is, I said, if you want that, speak with this. That's what it is. This right here is the best thing you have. Speak with your money. That's the best thing you can do against corporations and their bullcrap. I don't like Disney as much as no more. So I don't buy Disney. I never had Disney Plus. I don't support Disney Plus. I don't do that. I buy platforms that I like.
The folks who are complaining about killing comedy are killing comedy.
No, they ain't.
Complaining about canceling people are canceling people.
No, we're not.
Which is funny because on an Instagram account with 1.6 million followers, he was just going live to a total of 600 people.
600 people. I don't even have all the stuff that he has, whatever. Let me look at my status screen here. Okay, I am up to 17,150 people watching now worldwide. Thank y'all for giving me your time and everything. That's the big difference right there.
This guy used to have his own show on primetime cable, and now he's out there.
So I'm doing even more. I'm doing better than Don Lemon. The hell? I'm doing better than Don Lemon, sir. See how weird that is? I got more people watching than what he got in his live when he just started. Flipping hell. Wow.
They're making TikToks nobody cares about.
Exactly.
So it kind of makes.
And I don't have a million subscribers on YouTube and on all other platforms. I just do this generically.
Sense that all these mainstream media personalities are panicking over Jimmy's cancellation because it's just a sign that they might be the next Don Lemon. But nobody should feel bad for Jimmy losing his livelihood, or anybody on his staff for that matter, as his show previously celebrated Tucker Carlson's cancellation.
Fox News
exactly
has severed bow ties with Tucker Carlson.
See, so he can celebrate it and other people can't. That's what I'm saying. How that works.
After all these years, they are parting ways, which means he was fired. I mean, that's really what parting ways means.
Woo!
What a shock. I mean, what an absolutely delightful shock this is.
Laughed about Roseanne's cancellation.
And the biggest story of the day today was Roseanne. Roseanne, you're not going to believe this, but she tweeted something outrageous. I know, yeah, right. The president did it too. It's crazy. Anyway, ABC decided to cancel.
As so did you. Made memes about Trump losing his ability to speak freely, but most importantly, advocated for the cancellation of you.
Vaccinated person having a heart attack? Yes, come right on in. We'll take care of you. Unvaccinated guy who gobbled horse goo? Rest in peace, Wheezy.
Yeah. And I should feel boo-hoo for this guy? Nah, I don't care.
Laughing at hospitals denying care to anybody that didn't listen to his propaganda is probably why people stopped listening to him.
Yep.
The funny part is, if the network didn't cancel his show, the left likely would have eventually, as South Park had to cancel their upcoming episode for reasons. And now leftists online are calling to cancel anything Disney related, which is hilarious, as they always eventually turn on each other. Again,
Always.
proving no matter how many years of representation, inclusion, and progressive intent, they're always one step away from failing the left's ever-changing parity test. As once you bend the knee to the woke mob, you'll eventually be on.
Can't make that joke. You can't make that joke, sir. You can't. Oh, that is funny though, but you can't make that joke, sir. But anyway, I'm just pointing out. I just pointed out just the stuff like that, like First Amendment. Know what the First Amendment was. Again, young kids, younger people, even adults. The First Amendment, government should not make that. Okay, the government. So that's what that's set up to be. Trump can't make no laws to stop me from speaking. He can't bring nobody into my house to stop me from speaking. The government. Or the governor of North Carolina or whatever. They can't. But speaking have consequences. So, like me, who speaked out on Facebook last year and said, hey, cool, whatever, I can't vote for Kamala Harris because of her ruling what she did. A friend of mine, a piece of ass person got out and killed my friend's husband and 2 kids. That's all I said. I can't do that. But cancel me and tell me I'm a piece of crap because I would rather vote for the racist person, whatever. Again, no. What? First of all, I never said I voted for Trump. I did vote for Trump, but I never said I was voting for Trump. I was just saying I can't stand up. I can't do that. But what? I never went to that. I never went to people and tell, oh, you're going to vote for Kamala Harris and vote Biden. Good for you. You do you. But because when I said you're going to tell me I'm the president, I never said you're racist, you're dumb, whatever. None of that stuff. For what Joe Biden said, racist stuff in the past. And again, we don't talk about that. Remember, if I don't vote for you, I ain't black. Again, I'm a white guy. But whatever, how that works out. So it's just funny how things work like that. It really does. So for me, I'm just telling y'all out there, the First Amendment is not against crazy people out there. Is again, the First Amendment was set up for government so they don't start tyranny. We don't have the tyranny that other countries have. So sorry, Chuck Schumer, for lying your butt off, but you're wrong. So anyway, I want to thank y'all for giving me your time here. We get up to about 18,000 people, and I thank y'all for giving me your time, your eye, your mind, your ears, listening to what I have to say. Again, I need to figure out a way to. I don't know how to figure out a way because my schedule is so crazy. I used to have the after show where I used to read people's comments and stuff like that, and I don't have. Looking at it right now, I got about 820 comments right now, and we don't have nothing super crazy like that. So I gotta figure out how to give you guys a voice for y'all typing and texting and everything in the different places. Again, I know sometimes I can't do everything because there's a mixture of like Facebook and all the stuff like that. So, but I want to thank y'all for being here. And remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your neighbors, and hope eventually you'll get a good community. Remember, evil comes in all shapes, size, color, creed, height, nationality, political party, sex, whatever. Evil's evil. I don't stand for evil. And last but not least, remember, out there, guys, people are individuals, or people are stupid, individuals smart. Be that smart individual. All right. Thank y'all for joining us. Next week, Thursday, we'll be back at it again with another episode of Project Open Mic. We'll go into that. And like I said, for the people who've been watching this show in the past and seeing the video, that we're going to get back to normal. Yeah, we're switching things up. And we're going to do stuff, like I said, shows for about at least hour 30 minutes at the most. So again, thank you for giving me your time. Hope y'all are good. Be cool and enjoy your family. Have a good night. God bless y'all. Peace out.